Previously on Lost.
Like it or not, Lost is one of the most well-known shows of the past decade. However, that being said, it is also one of the most divisive and, quite often, one of the most impenetrable also. As for myself, I made the stupid mistake of joining it midway through Season 3, and therefore had no fucking clue as to what was going on at all. However, after a thorough search of both Wikipedia and the Lost-specific wiki, I was able to deduce a few things about the show.
Apparently, from what I can deduce, an Australian flight breaks up over the ocean and leaves two supermodels, a Mark Twain reject, a hobbit, Link, a bald man who I'm sure has absolutely no importance to the plot whatsoever, and Jack Black, Hugo, stranded on a desert island. Into this maelstrom is thrown Elliot Maslow, our protagonist for the game. The game begins on the plane itself. I've always wondered how the Australian officials would explain this away.
Well, I'm not saying it wasn't safe, it's just perhaps not quite as safe as some of the other ones.
Why?
Well, some of them are built so the front doesn't fall off at all.
Well, wasn't this built so the front wouldn't fall off?
Well, obviously not.
How do you know?
Well, because the front fell off.
After a scene oddly reminiscent of the start of the series, shot of the eye opening, following a dog through the jungle, yeah, totally original there. However, I don't remember the utterly impenetrable jungle in the pilot. I will grant you that I'm sure some jungles can be this dense, however, this is just fucking railroading. But oh well. He teleports to the beach, which is now at sunset, contrary to the show where the crash survivors scrabble out of the plane in the middle of the day, which indicates either that this is a major continuity gaffe, or they have been sitting around on the beach for several hours. Idiots abound. Here you can talk to people, including Locke, who is unhelpful. Don't worry, this is a recurring theme. And Jack, who's performing CPR on a clearly burnt corpse. And on the beach he also finds a golden watch.
5 long years he wore this watch. Up his ass.
Jack then gives you the task of stopping the fuel leaking onto the sparking engine, leading us to our next recurring theme, fuse boxes. And no, I'll try and refrain from making a spoony fuse box joke. After saving the survivors, it transpires that Elliot has amnesia, that classic video game story trope.
Wish I could introduce myself, but I can't remember my name, or my past. It's all gone.
Let me take a look, okay? I don't see any signs of head injury. I'd say you're suffering from amnesia brought on by the crash.
Do you know me? Maybe you saw me on the plane?
Afraid not. But try finding your stuff, luggage, carry-ons, anything that could help trigger your memory.
It is here that the effects seen in the forest become abundantly clear. Invisible fucking walls. Elliot's amnesia apparently means that he is unable to remember that he can venture deeper into water than his fucking ankles. And now we come to the voices. Oh, the voices. In my previous review, I was shocked by the level of awesome actors and actresses lending their voices to what was essentially a GTA clone. Now we have one of the biggest TV shows of the noughties and its official video game, so I'll assume that most of the main cast have reprised their roles like Jack, Kate, Charlie, Locke, Sawyer, Saeed, Hurley, Desmond,
only when
Ben, Juliet, Mikhail. This is bullshit! You don't get your cast to sign on to the game! Lord of the fucking Rings had the cast in its games, and this doesn't! Locke sounds like he's 100 years old!
We won't be anywhere unless you redirect that fuel leak.
And Sawyer sounds like he's out of Call of fucking Juarez!
We need to start thinking survival. Instead, we got a doctor wasting medicine on folks who ain't got a chance. Ain't no room for bleeding hearts now.
Oh, I give up!
You best brush up on your Lord of the Flies there, Ralphie. Rescue ain't coming.
Lord of the Flies? Oh shit, it's year 11 English all over again. After this, Elliot runs afoul of a man demanding a camera and a specific photograph. Then we have a recap of events that happened 1 minute ago.
Previously on Lost.
Suddenly, Jack, Kate and Charlie come tearing out of the jungle after being chased by some epileptic trees.
Monster!
Why does Jack shake his head when you talk to him? What is he on? Essentially the problem is that you need your camera, which you think you would maybe have with you or by your seat in the overhead compartment, but no, it's in a locked section near the cabin. Now, as I've never flown before, I have no personal experience, but this seems more like a way of dragging out time. But I'm getting ahead of myself. After a flashback, Elliot remembers that he can lie and tells Jack that Claire is in trouble. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, playing cry wolf with a heavily pregnant woman. Then, after running through the jungle, we are treated to a scene of the smoke monster attacking a dude who was shooting at us. My main question in all this is, who is that dude? I mean, it can't be a survivor, and surely one of the others wouldn't be stupid enough to be ambushed by the friggin' smoke monster on the island that they have lived on for years. On our journey to find the cockpit, we come across Michael, who tells us we might go through caves, but to be wary of the bats.
This cave is messed up, man. And there's bats in there. They may be blind, but they're fast, so watch yourself.
We can't stop here. This is Bat Country.
And here we enter one of my 9 circles of video gaming hell, the fucking caves. How the cave sections work is that you can buy torches by trading in water bottles, coconuts and the like. You can only carry up to 8 items, whilst most stack torches don't, meaning that you have a finite amount of torches that can, and quite possibly will, leave you fumbling about in the dark where you will fall down a bottomless pit, get stuck, or just rage quit. After traversing the cave and completely blanking the discovery of a frickin' dead polar bear in a cave on a tropical island, you finally make it through and reach the cockpit. Then you must go about retrieving your camera. And it is now that I must talk about the main puzzle feature of Lost the video game, the fuse boxes that I briefly touched on earlier. Now forgive my ignorance, but I fail to remember any of the major events of Lost revolving around the survivors piddling about with voltage. Lost the video game, marvel as an amnesiac attempts to solve basic mathematics. After having freed my camera from the clutches of the dreaded plane, I am given the traditional others greeting. Somehow I awake on the beach, and am then privy to Locke waxing poetical, which comes across as fucking obnoxious. This forces us into another flashback, and this one is a particularly egregious example of the problems with these flashbacks, as quite often the flashback photos appear rather arbitrary, and the whole sections generally degenerate into frantically mashing the A button. After blackmailing Locke into getting what you want, we make our way to the hatch. After discussing attempts to get into the hatch, including, according to Locke at least, a trebuchet. Really? A trebuchet? Look, have you ever seen a trebuchet? It's pretty frickin' huge. I think Locke's been playing a bit too much Age of Empires 2. Any building causing problems? Build 20 fuck-off trebuchets and waste the bastards. Oh no, not another fucking cave! However, at least this cave may provide some fucking answers. Unlike Locke over here. Example, what do you know about the others?
Can't say I blame them. They were here first.
That's not an answer, John. You lose £20. After making his way through the cave, he has a vision of a mysterious woman who keeps popping up on the island. He then attempts a simple jump and fails miserably. Our hero, ladies and gentlemen, can't handle a 2-foot drop and is a grave robber to boot. Bravo, Elliot Maslow, bravo. After prizing a compass from some poor guy's cold, dead hands, Locke continues to prove how stunningly useful he is by leaving us in a pit to die of what appeared to be controller vibration, unless we show him the compass.
Help me up and I'll show you. Right now I see no reason to let you up. But I might have a few reasons to keep you down there.
We cut back to the beach. Elliot doesn't seem particularly bothered that a massive explosion just ripped through the jungle. Also, I don't know if they ever addressed this in the show or not, but wouldn't setting off an explosion in the jungle have the possible side effect of burning down most of the island? Hell, that's the ending to Lord of the Flies, and that book is on the fucking island. Were they taking instructions from Lieutenant Colonel Kilgore or something?
This is the end, beautiful friend.
Anyway, next day Elliot decides to investigate, or take the batteries to Saeed to fix his laptop, one of the two. On the way we bump into Desmond.
What did one snowman say to the other snowman?
Who is thankfully voiced by his original actor. Enjoy him, folks, as this is the only time you get to see him. Also, while we're at brief appearances, there are no more cave sections either. I don't know whether to rejoice or rage at the fact that they introduce a scrappy mechanic and then ditch it when it barely serves any fucking purpose. And Desmond never did tell me what the snowman said. What a rip. Next, go to Saeed, talk to Saeed, give batteries to Saeed so Saeed can fix laptop, head back to beach to talk to people. Oh, and Elliot mentions how he can't get into the Swan station. Elliot laments that with Saeed guarding the door, there is no means of accessing the Swan. He does this whilst admiring the great big fuck-off hole that was blasted out of the hatch with fucking dynamite. We then have another flashback with the lovely Lisa Gellhorn.
All that matters is the
Falcon Punch! Yes!
That was my story, not yours. You're a son of a bitch, Elliot Maslow. You'd screw anyone to further your career.
I'm just trying to keep up with you, sweetheart. My name is Elliot Maslow. Of course. Elliot.
For some reason this makes me chuckle. I just imagined Elliot running around the beach, arms flailing, yelling that, "My name is Elliot Maslow!" Anyway, following my breakthrough, I return to Saeed, who gives me the info before I tell him my name. What the fuck? You mean to tell me that you magically sensed I had learned my name and were willing to give me important information without me telling you the thing you sent me all the way down to the bloody beach to discover? Ugh. Moving on. You know he could have stolen the name Elliot Maslow, right? No, sorry. Moving on. They then instruct Elliot about the numbers. Great, give the guy you barely know and hardly trust access and knowledge to the island's own doomsday device. Great job, guys. Oh, and look what happens. Alarm and sirens wail. Everything turns blue. And the island gets ready to explode.
Blinking and beeping and flashing, they're flashing, and they're beeping. I can't stand it anymore. They're blinking and beeping and flashing. Why doesn't somebody pull the plug? Sir, I'm all right.
So after saving the island, I'm rewarded with...
I am a man!
Oh, that's just wonderful. And now they lock me up. What truly great men. However, at least in this case, they were slightly justified as they found blueprints for both C4 and frickin' sarin nerve gas. Jesus, Elliot, you're into some weird shit. Kate releases Elliot, trusting him presumably because the god of plot advancement demands it. After heading to the beach, we discover a few things. 1. Locke apparently didn't want me locked up, but didn't do anything about it. Helpful as always, John. Helpful as always. 2. Hurley is busy referencing events that did not happen in the game. Therefore, anyone who was not really into Lost would have no idea about Russo or the death of Arts. Finally, this.
You all, everybody.
Oh God, get it away. Put on something else. Put on anything.
You all, everybody.
After purchasing some
lamp oil, rope, bombs,
one must head behind a waterfall. Not that the game tells you that, mind you, but hey-ho. It is here that once again you are arbitrarily allowed to use your gun to blow open the door.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off!
After breaking into another Domus station and being given subtitles for what is written on the computer, nice work guys, Elliot is then chased through the jungle by the smoke monster. After facing down the giant black phallus, we meet with Juliet, who is cryptic and useless as everyone else on the island. However, she does prompt a flashback that begins to detail Elliot's past. It seems that he and Lisa were in Australia to expose a man named Savo, who was responsible for using a nerve agent on subjects for experimentation. So, how does our brave hero help to expose this cruel and twisted scheme? He betrays Lisa to the guard so he can get in the elevator to get to Savo. Class act. After braving an underground section that is reminiscent of the fucking caves from earlier, we reach the flame station and kill the guy who attacked you on the beach, and rescue Charlie's killer. Smooth, Elliot, smooth. After being knocked out by the others, but they seem so trustworthy. Elliot wakes up in the Hydra. After revealing yet more of the flashback showing Lisa being taken at gunpoint to Savo, he is released, for some reason, and scours the Hydra for fuses, including one off the body of a dead shark. He meets Ben, who tells him that he planted the compass for him, that it leads to a boat, and that he will allow him to leave the island, for a price. He is to lead Jack to the Black Rock so he can be captured by the others. What bugs me about this is that Elliot has made no clear indication that he has any real desire to escape the island. They seem to be playing to a weakness that he doesn't have, and yet it works. Oh, what do I know? After being sent back to the camp, he leads Jack to the Black Rock. After asking Jack, "Are you ready?" Jack gives him a gun as a sign of trust. So now it's clear that Elliot will tell him of the trap, and he just lets Jack and the newly arrived Kate get captured. Our hero, folks. We also see the finale of the flashback. He allowed Lisa to be shot to get a photo of her death as evidence against Savo. I got nothing, guys. Elliot is just a complete arsehole, and he's our protagonist. Give me strength. Anyway, after finally realizing what a colossal dick-wrencher he's been for the whole game...
Oh my god. I sacrificed Lisa for a photo.
He finally grows a pair and shoots the dynamite that could potentially kill Jack and Kate. Yes, even when he's being heroic, he's still a dick. Or an idiot. Or both. Anyway, amazingly it works, but Elliot is knocked out in the process and is dragged away from the Black Rock by Jack and Kate, proving why they are the protagonists of the show. Somehow he eventually is woken up on a cliff by Juliet, who tells him to run to the boat, as Ben has ordered it to be blown up, and Juliet has apparently done her heel-face turn now.
There's no time.
There is no time.
After you.
After running to the boat, Locke finally proves himself useful by killing the guy who was sent to destroy your boat. And then his boat randomly explodes. Okay. After talking with Locke, Elliot finally sets sail on the Via Domus. Well, that wasn't too bad an ending, I suppose. What?
You okay?
Lisa?
Oh my god, we made it. We're alive.
What the fuck is this shit? It was all a dream? Bullshit! 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 You can't do that! That'd be like if you ended the series in some random church without answering half of the lingering questions. Fuck this franchise.